In this video, we experience the new most dangerous corner in Gran Turismo 7, the hairpin, deadlier than ever at Deep Forest Raceway, and I get hit by a very dirty driver in Daily Race C. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2024, week 44, getting ever closer to the end of the year. And this one, a bit of a weird one. It's all sprint, it's all racing, and arguably a lot of crashing as well. So first up in the background, you can see we're in Gr.B cars at Eiger Nordwand in reverse. And we're doing 7 laps here. It's a grid start with the false start check. Racing medium tyres, which is unusual for this category of car. Standard fuel and tyre wear, and you can adjust the brake balance. You can't adjust the torque. So just putting that out there, because normally you can. You can't in this situation. Now, some of you definitely will not like this race at all, and there is going to be a lot of crashing in this one into all the hairpins going up the mountain. So there's some timestamps there for you. Hopefully they're right this week, and you can jump to Daily Race B and C respectively. However, we do, yes, I know some of you like that, we are going to do Daily Race A. So in terms of when it's been used, well, there you go. It's never been used at all, so that's all dashes. In terms of issues, you could get sent into the pits. That's quite a common thing to do if you ever have a bit of a punter-thon. It's a cracking track for it. And it is a narrow track as well, so it is actually hard to overtake at this circuit. Let's see how hard it is to overtake, though, because we're going to jump into this race and see how far up the grid I can actually get. Here we are then at the start of this one. We got an old school, a classic Subaru there. Blue Racer in P1. Interesting choice. The Lancer was top of the boards at the time. No traction control in this one either. So we'll whack up the brake balance. That's what I'm using here. Hold the handbrake as we get ready to go there. Hodgson gets a terrible start there. Jump to start very early as we head towards turn number 1. You can see how narrow this track gets very quickly. He's got the inside and max power trying to get round here. Now these cars love to understeer. They do like a bit of sliding. However, the quickest way is not to slide. So a bit of a weird one for you. In towards the fast right and then the left with the deadly pit entry. And unfortunately, Cosmo there nearly ends up there, but managed to survive. It doesn't go to Narnia as we head down towards the long left-hander then onto the brake. Shelty unfortunately loses the rear. We're going to get the inside then. 2 for 1. We'll take that. Happy days indeed. And we're up to P4 already. I said you couldn't race here, and we've already gained places, but even so, it's going to be a struggle to actually race here. So in towards the hairpins here up the mountain. Nearly rear-ending Handsome Frank there as we go into the left-hander, slowing it down as we exit here. That's a lovely Focus. To be honest, I really wish I did use the Focus. It's a lovely car here, and it reminds me of the Paris World Tour event I went to as well. So on the inside of Handsome Frank, going to be the outside for this final hairpin. A little bit too much oversteer there as we leave this corner. Tries to get the inside. Handsome Frank covers that off very nicely indeed as we head up towards the start-finish line. Start lap number 2 as we go into here. Just back out of this one then, just because side-by-side into here it'd be quite deadly, to be honest with you. That's nothing on Handsome Frank. It just will be deadly full stop. Now, we are looking for the run out the corner, trying to use the downhill part of the first corner there to really get an advantage. Doesn't quite work out there. Let's go into the left-hander. We continue on here. We've got a run on Handsome Frank once again. They stay towards the left-hand side. We're on the right-hand side here as we go into the long left-hander then. We're on the outside, trying to keep it there. Oh, nearly hitting the barrier. We don't quite hit the barrier then. We continue on through here. Frank gives me some room on the exit. Beautiful bit of racing there as we continue on, and we should be ahead here before we get to the hairpins, and we are indeed. We slow it down then as we go into this right-hander. You can see how suddenly the car actually stops there. And that's where all the crashes are going to be here, because people are just going to stop instantly as we look up ahead. Blue Racer and Constantine there side by side. A classic Subaru versus a Focus. It reminds me of the old school Colin McRae rally. Richard Burns versus Colin McRae themselves. As we go down here then, in towards the left we go. And in, oh, hello, Constantine goes defensive, looking towards the right, just to back out of that, no real room there as we go into this left hand. Oh, bit of a wiggle there from the Focus. Looking on the inside, there's no real place to go there as we continue on through here. And it looks like Blue Race is holding up the pack here a little bit. That classic Subaru not looking the quickest versus these more modern Gr.B machines. As we go into the right-hander, Constantine managed to get it done there. Beautiful stuff. We've got to look for a way past this classic Subaru. I do love the shape of that car. If I could and had unlimited money, I would buy one. I'd definitely store it and, you know, just turn it on and listen to the bum, 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 bum of the Subaru engine, the Boxer engine. It's a beautiful noise. Right, in towards the left we go then, looking for the run out the corner like I tried earlier on Handsome Frank. Here we go then. We've got a massive run on Blue Racer as we go on by, and we're actually going to get up into P2 straight away. Happy days. So we've got, what, half the race to go and half the race to try and get the win here and get in P1. Let's see what happens here. Lap number 5 then. We catch up to Constantine, try to get on the inside there. Not going to quite work as we go into the hairpins here, and they defend that very nicely on the inside then. As we go into this right-hander, trying around the outside. Very hard to do on these hairpins. There's just so much there. I tried to get the run there. Unfortunately, I do tap them. I do let off here to let them go, because that was more on me there. Didn't really have the run, and the sort of, yeah, a bit awkward, should we say. Probably the best bet in terms of that one. So we're back on the back of the Focus. Unfortunately, they go way too deep into that hairpin, and we do manage to get ahead here as we go up the mountain for the penultimate time here. As we go into the right then, we're up as well on the fastest lap. Happy days. As we continue on through, it looks like we will escape the Russian driver behind them. And what we will do is we'll advance towards the end then. Where we're going to do that, there it is. The yellow flag, not sure what that's for, but we head towards the line. 2 seconds in the lead and a win here at Eiger Nordwand reverse. Quite happy with that one. And yeah, there you go. That's how you do that. And I will explain how to do it more in terms of a lap guide in a second. First up, though, the scores are good at 7 out of 10. And the reason for that is it is a new combo. It is something different. You can see the details of the scoring down in a comment below. If you're instantly on this video, you might not see the comment yet, but trust me, it will appear. So as you head towards turn 1, the white line breaks up there. You can use that. I wasn't using that. I was more using that square piece of tarmac in the distance there. It's a bit of a distance judgment, and that's all I'm doing here. Plus 5 brake balance, you can see there as well, and I also showed you that at the start of the race. So as I come into here, I sort of want to clip and then go to the outside, stay in 4th gear, and then bring it back. You want to be in a higher gear than you think in these cars. They quickly accelerate like modern rally cars. So a higher gear is actually going to be a more stable gear as well. So as we go into this fast right-hander, the end of the sort of more opened up tarmac area, so it goes into grass, that is your turning marker. It could be a lift-off marker for some of you as well if you really are struggling with understeer. I just accelerate a bit longer before letting off. And as I go into here, happy days indeed. So as the end of the curbing on the right or the start of the fence there, they can be your brake markers, or you can stay lifted off and try and turn in. Very difficult to do that. I would highly advise you brake for this corner. Otherwise, you could end up in the pits, which I've talked about quite a few times. So that's what I'm going to do. Dab in the brakes, turn it in, and accelerate really early out the corner. I'm in 5th gear in the Evo as well as we go downhill. Now, the car will be picking up a lot of speed very quickly going downhill. On the left-hand side, the Armco stops, and we go into these concrete bollards. That is your brake marker for this left-hander. Again, you may want to go to 3rd gear here, but don't. Stay in 4th gear. So you're going to drop all the way to 4th and stay there. And just let the car try and get round the corner. So I break in a straight line, start to lift off. And notice there, I'm just letting the car roll. And then I come back in 4th gear there and continue on out the corner. 3rd gear may give it a bit more rotation, but you may struggle then to get the car pointed in the right direction. It may just understeer due to weight transfer. As you head towards these hairpins, we've got trees on the right. The last tree on the right that I've highlighted right there, really good brake marker. As that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes. You're going to hit the anchors. Obviously, on chase cam, you're going to have to pick a different tree, or use the same trees, to be honest with you. You can try and use that. Breaking a straight line all the way to this corner. 2nd gear, 3rd gear exit. 2nd gear mid-corner, 3rd gear exits. The marshal on the left-hand side is your brake marker for this left-hander. Again, 2nd gear in, 3rd gear out, and your car should remain pretty stable, to be honest with you. These get tighter as you go up the mountain, so you are going to have to slow the car down at some point. And then the next one, I'm pretty sure we stay in 2nd, but you can see there up to 3rd gear, and it allows the car to remain stable and catchable as well. So a nice little top of a tree there. Top of the morning to you there with a tree. On the left-hand side is your brake marker for this right-hander. Now, I went up to 4th gear. You can stay in 3rd, to be honest with you, but you're going to drop to 2nd. The hairpin, but on the exit of that corner, you may feel like you need to go to 4th. You will hit the limiter in 3rd, but only just. So 2nd gear, and then we continue on up towards the final one. We stayed in 2nd, and we're going to go to 3rd gear for the exit, okay? Beat it out the corner as quick as you can. Push it towards the line, and hopefully you get a nice, lovely lap time. This is the 102.9, and there we have it. There was plenty of time in that lap as well, so maybe you can beat that one. The Ghost is available to compete against. So we jump to Daily Race B here. We're at Deep Forest Raceway, a standard combo here in Gran Turismo Daily Races. And we're doing 6 laps. It's a rolling start, racing medium tyres, and you can adjust that brake balance. That's all you need to know for this particular race. Now, the Supra is always going to be strong here due to that back straight, and that is why I have chosen that Toyota Supra, which you can see in the background. In terms of statistics then, we've used this 11 times, this track and car combo 4 times. This is the 5th time of asking. In terms of issues, it's hard to overtake in the middle sector. That's just a thing here. But obviously, you've got lots of slipstream opportunities to overtake, so it's not too bad. The hairpin can be dangerous at the end of the lap, though, because everybody wants to send it down the inside, and a lot of people will get that wrong. let's jump into this one then, and let's see how many people do get it wrong at that hairpin. Here we are then at the start of this one. A Porsche in pole and an R8 in P2. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I think the Toyota Supra is going to remain strong all week here. Now, if you're enjoying this video, as always, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. And what we're going to do is head towards turn 1 and see what goes wrong. All right, potentially. So, we head into here then. Max Power on the outside line there. Loves that livery, does Max Power. In fact, every time I see that livery, I think of you, Max Power, believe it or not. So, we continue on out there. Nobody died. Everybody lived. And we're going to go into this snaky terrain where you can't really overtake in the middle sector, as I discussed about in terms of the key issue here at Deep Forest. Well, saying that, Max Power's tried round the outside of Muscaffi. Is that going to work? As we go into the right-hander, they're side-by-side. Hodgson side-by-side up ahead as well with Blue Racer. And it doesn't work there. We had somebody off towards the right-hand side. But I've cut that one in the bloopers, which is always at the end of the video for those wondering. We just have a look at the incidents and see what went wrong or what went right for some people. So on towards the back straight we go. No real moves made there by anybody, but here we go. Moves are happening now. The snake is weaving all over the track here as we head towards the hairpin, trying to get some advantage in that slipstream and place your car ready for that braking zone coming up. Now you can see here the Toyota Supra is pulling towards Max Power, even though we were a bit further back than everybody else. In towards the braking zone we go. Now as we get into here then, we slightly tap Blue Racer, which, I mean, Blue Racer, you're very welcome. I managed to push you past Hodgson. Oh, yes, you're very welcome indeed. That's why I'm smiling down there in the bottom left-hand side. Obviously, it was a mistake from my part. Mario Sonic came from behind me and got past everybody there. So really did make a fair few positions there, did Mario Sonic. Well played to you in that one. So we're up into P12. Was that where we were before? I think we were a bit lower in the grid. We're going to head towards turn 1. We've got Mario Sonic on the inside of Hodgson. I'm on the outside of Hodgson. Up ahead, 2, 3 wide here as we go through this corner. Everybody is absolutely everywhere. And as we leave this corner, there's a big crash there. 2 cars definitely off the circuit. We pull into line then for the middle sector. And we're up into P10 with Muscaffi behind, Max Power behind them as well. And everybody's sort of slowing it down now, aware that there is a slowness of cars as the network decided to have a bit of a blip there, going in towards this right-hander. And it all settles down. Max Power once again side by side with Muscaffi behind. That's going to be an interesting one. And Max Power made it work this time. Max Power through there into P11. Now we just fast forward a little bit here as we head towards the hairpin. So we can see we've got a run on the McLaren then as we head towards there. Just moving up ahead. Mario Sonic's made a good few positions here as we go into this hairpin and slow it down nicely. I don't hit Blue Racer this time. Hodgson managed to get a brilliant run out the corner though. Really does. So defensive position very nicely. However, there's only one winner between the Toyota Supra and the McLaren 650S in a drag race. And it's not a McLaren. And obviously, if you said that to somebody in real life, they would question you entirely. But not in this situation. Here we go then. And we head towards turn 1. That McLaren's still holding its own a little bit here. But we do have a run as we head in towards turn 1. Hodgson takes some avoiding action there. Was slightly tapped by Max Power. They do have an apology with each other afterwards, just to say sorry for that one. But Hodgson took avoiding action there as well, which is brilliant, brilliant sportsmanship. It really is. As we continue on here then, we've got an Audi R8 of Jenna there. Starts in P2, just falling back a little bit here in terms of race pace. We go towards the left-hand side of the Audi R8. We're going to be up into P8 now as well as we go hard on the brakes. The Audi trying around the outside. Can they make that work like Hodgson did earlier? Not quite this time. We do maintain that position then as we continue on out of here. Let's advance a bit further on them in towards the middle sector. Blue Racer on the inside of Cirque there. Mario Sonic follows them through. That's a really good opportunistic drive there. Blue Racer into the barrier though. Mario Sonic gets another place there. Mario Sonic having all the luck, being in the right place at the right time and making the move stick as well. So brilliant stuff there. Now I just want to shout out the Audi R8 driver behind. I slowed up quite a lot there because I wasn't sure what's going to happen. Jenna spotted that and slowed up as well. Absolutely awesome sportsmanship there. Awesome driving, actually, in general, by the Audi R8. Really was good stuff. Up ahead, though, Cirque just pushes Blue Racer out there. That's not quite as good, in my opinion. But, yeah, I like to point out good driving, and Jenna really was spot on there, heading towards the back straight. So we're going to run on this classic liveried Toyota Supra as we head towards the line to start the penultimate lap. There, towards the left. I'm on the right-hand side. We're going to try round the outside at turn 1 because it's the best way to do it, apparently. No, don't believe me here. The inside is a better place to be here at turn 1. But even so, we can give it a try, and that's what we're trying here. And you can see there, they defended it perfectly. Really well played to the Italian there. Really good defensive drive as we go onto the back straight then. I mean, there's no point joining the middle sector. It's just stay in line and wait till this point here. So over towards the left-hand side. We're going to try and send it round the outside, but we stop it here. And what's going to happen then? So the Italian defends it. We do get a better exit, though. We get straight, we get pointed, and off we go then, side by side with the Castrol Toyota Supra as we go down the dip here and head towards turn number 1. We've got Blue Racer looking for a way past there behind me. Not going to quite work there in that Honda NSX. In towards the braking zone we go. We do get it stopped. There's a slight tap there. Nothing major. We're up into the relatively not new position, but the cursed one. And yeah, we're up here then. So the drive on the outside, never going to work into that corner. And we advance towards the end here. P6 is where we finished then. No problem, Steve. I'll keep your position warm for you. And you can see there, a Porsche won in the end. Bembo, congratulations to you. Represented TCR very well. Score there, 5.5 out of 10. I really wanted to give this more, to be honest with you. But with the way the scoring system works, I can't give it any more because it's just 1 point or not. But yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good race, if I'm honest with you. So, how do you do this race? Well, you head towards turn 1. You get very close to that 100 board and you hit the brakes. That is exactly what you do. Now, you do actually want to point towards the corner a little bit. You don't want to stay towards the right-hand side for too long. Point towards the corner a little bit and then drop to second gear. And keep a nice tight line if you can. I don't like the V-shape here on this corner. You can notice that I am pointing. I start to release the brakes as I turn a bit more. And I'm looking for the orange painted barrier on the exit. When I start to see that, as it starts to come towards the center of my screen, is when I'm going to start to accelerate. Now, I'm accelerating extremely early here, and the reason for that is I want to get to the top of the leaderboard or in the top 10. So you've got a ghost to follow. You can follow this lap guide with the ghost. That's the idea behind it. So I'm accelerating a bit earlier than I'm saying here, but it seems to work out. So as we head in towards the fast right, there is some soundproofing fence on the left-hand side. Turn in before that hits the edge of your screen, and you may want to lift halfway through this corner just to make sure you do kill a bit of speed here. 110 is what I was sort of aiming for in terms of speed, so a little lift off is absolutely fine. Some people will want to dab the brakes, but there we go, 110, drop to 109. And when we get to the grass turning into concrete on the left, that is your brake marker for this left-hander. Now, in an FR car, which means it's front-engined, rear-wheel drive, you really want to try and abuse the speed bumps on the left. You can actually go over them. If you don't do any inputs, the car shouldn't bounce too much, and it should be winner, chicken dinner. I don't use them as much on this particular lap, but trust me, you can. On the exit, you can stay in third gear in a Toyota Supra throughout that entire corner, and it's a bit more stable. So just think about that if you are struggling with a bit of oversteer in second. The end of the curb in here is the brake marker for this right-hander. You're going to drop to second gear. A tight line is a better line for this corner, but you just have to be careful on exit, which I'm going to show you now. So I was just trail braking all the way into the corner, and we're looking for that red sign above the tunnel entrance. That is your accelerator marker. So when you can start to see that, start to apply the throttle slowly but surely. Don't go full throttle. You'll spin out like you saw in the race, but just slowly apply it. Now, try and straighten up the steering as much as you can, as quick as you can, then go to third gear. Don't abuse the track limits too much there. If you're all four wheels on the green, you're going to get a penalty. So in towards this fast left, as the curb protrudes into the circuit the most, that is your brake marker and chuck it in marker, essentially, for this corner. So you dab the brakes, chuck it in. Now, try and maintain 100 miles an hour throughout this corner, and you should be bob on. Absolutely bob on. You should get a really good lap time from this, actually. I dropped to 97 there, so I could have done that quicker, but 100 is my goal every single time. So the start of the bridge here, you can see where it goes from tarmac to concrete or the Armco to the barrier. That is your brake marker for the left-hander. Very important corner to get right this. So you actually want to brake just after these, okay? And when you go into this corner, you're trying to get the car rotated as quick as you can and accelerate as early as you can. Abuse the track limits on the exit. Notice them there, nearly all four wheels over, but I've still got two wheels on the red and white curbing, so the lap counts. Red and white curbing is track in terms of Gran Turismo. You can see that there. We're going to bolt out the corner and we're going to head towards the hairpin. And we just fast forward this little bit here. As we head towards the hairpin, we've got a couple of brake markers we can use here. I use the camera structure on the right-hand side. That is my brake marker. If you want, you can try and use the catch fence a little bit further on just before the 100 board, but I highly advise using this, making sure you're braking nice and early. A nice tight line for the hairpin is actually beneficial here because you just want to get it round and rotated. Now, you're going to see on this particular lap, I actually get a bit of oversteer here, which helps me out massively. It gives me a literal boost out the corner. I'm going to head towards the line here, and this is a 125.3, so I'm fairly happy with that lap, and that is how you do Deep Forest going forward. What we are going to do now is jump to Road Atlanta. We head towards America, and we're in Group 4 machinery in a Lamborghini Huracan. So 14 laps for this race. Rolling start, racing hard tyres. There is no pitting in this one, but you can adjust the brake belts, and you can see the tyre wear. It's non-existent as well. Well, I chose the Lamborghini Huracan. You can see Genesis is in the background, and Audi TT going rallycross in there as well. So it is an interesting one to race, that is for sure. We've used this track 12 times. It's a very common combo this as well. It's 5 times we've used this. 11th in terms of the rank. Last used it on the 12th of August. Very close racing does mean that there are some crashes here, and sends that will have to be done in order to overtake people. Because Group 4 is a bit slower, without the sends, you're just going to be stuck behind people. Let's jump into this one as I encounter a very, very, very dirty driver who's getting reported. Here we are then for the final race. We've got Huracan of Chelsea in pole. Let's see Chelsea up at the front. We've got Genesis is in here as well. I don't even know what you call them. Jedi? I have no idea. If you're enjoying this video, as always, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content, and we're going to kick off this race with a rolling start as we head towards turn 1. A very deadly turn 1 on cold tyres, although the tyres seem to be a bit warmer than normal here, which is absolutely nice. We continue on through here, and you can see me messing about with brake balance, which is +2 there. I do put that in the description and on the lap guide. Just keep an eye out for the graphics. Right, into here we go. We have to really slow up there. Somebody is off the circuit towards the left. We've got all sorts going on here. 3 wide, heading in towards this right-hander. Very sketchy indeed. Still 3 wide. Max Power's gone off. A rally crossing here. Behind them, we've got now a TT going rally crossing as well. As we go into the left-hander, the arrow is coming back on the circuit. They hit the Lamborghini. They go for a spin, and we managed to survive all of that when all said and done. As we look to try and get past Roman here, then in towards the right-hander we go. We send it a little bit, but we make the apex absolutely fine. Plenty of racing room there as we go to the second apex in the double right-hander here. So, a lot of action there straight off the bat, and you're going to have to be careful of that in each and every race, because that's going to happen all of the time. We have a run on Muscafi here, down towards the chicane, then around the outside, we're going to try and send it here. Very hard to send it around there, that far back, and Muscafi defends perfectly. Ran me tight there, but it was all fair game there. Beautiful racing from Muscafi as we go into the right-hander. And then the left. Now, it looked like somebody was off in the distance there. I'm not too sure. As we go down here, somebody's just left then, so we gain a position as we go into the left-hander then, and we slow it down. We look for the run on the exit on Muscafi, then we get the run as well. The naturally aspirated V10 engine here of the Lamborghini, working well on the exit. And we are up into P10. We've got a penalty up ahead for Andy. And that should give us P9 then, as Max Power's on the outside of Andy. Austin looking to follow suit then. In towards the right we go. It's Bilstein livery, so maybe a fan of Steve or Jimmy. As we continue on out of there, we've got the bump draft going on Hodgson. And that gives us P9. However, we don't want to just hold P9. We want to go all the way to the front here. I've got a lot of pace, I feel. And we're going to go towards the right side then of Hodgson in that Ferrari. The purple liveried Ferrari. As we head down here side by side and hit the brakes. We're going to absolutely fly down the outside. Do we get it stopped? We do indeed. That is us up into P8. We're following Max Power through the field right now as we continue on a bit further in the race then. Lap number 3. It feels like we've advanced really far, but we haven't. We've just been skipping little portions here. And the Dutch driver up ahead really struggling. Max Power all over the back of them. Both Genesis is here as we head up towards this fast left. So we're just slowing it down nicely there. Good racing from Hudson. Saw what was happening there. Backed out of it as well. Brilliant stuff there. I do want to point this kind of driving out because it's awesome. Really awesome driving. It shows awareness. It shows you know what's going on here. It's just nice. It really is. Max Power down the inside of the Dutch driver then. Dutch driver coming back at Max Power as we head into the right. Some nice racing going on here as we look to get on the inside there. Unfortunately, Max Power, I think, is pushed off the circuit a little bit there. And we're sort of nearly 3 wide. So I can see this now. I've just gone dark in terms of the webcam. That's you know who. Well, it's sunrise essentially. So they shut all the lights off. We pull back towards the left-hand side then. We just have enough of a gap here. So we're going to push Max Power through. And hopefully follow Max Power through up there into P7 we go. Hodgson looking to follow through as well. As we go on the brakes though, we slow the car down nicely. The Dutch driver just turns into me there. And I'm not sure what was going on in that situation. Maybe they didn't realise I was there. But I get the penalty for it, which is ridiculous, Gran Turismo. Absolutely ridiculous. As, yeah, 0.5 penalties. We really have to just march on here to try and build that gap as quick as we can to make sure we don't lose position. Max Power gets it all wrong into the fast left, so we gain another spot. And we got the Indian driver up ahead of Ganesh there, who had a penalty. Now we actually get the run and momentum from the penalty as we look down the inside. Not going to quite work, but we are up into P6. Plenty of this race to go though. We've only done 4 laps, or we will have done 4 laps when we go over the crest of the hill here. So plenty of the race to go. Under, what's that? I can't even read the time. What's that? 9 seconds? So under 10 seconds towards the leader. That's a bit of a hard task to do, but hey, I'm all for it in terms of tasks. As we go defensive in towards turn 1 against the Dutch driver. The Indian driver's just gone off there, got it all sorts of wrong. We're up into P5. Happy days indeed. And now we're going to push on to try and catch up to Mario Sonic who's currently in P4. Nice to see Mario Sonic in these races again. And there is Mario Sonic, so you can see a bit more closer. As we head down towards the chicane, now Mario Sonic goes defensive in towards the chicane. We're going to try around the outside again here. It's a move I like to do often. And do we get it done? Yes, we do. Here we go, up into P4. I'm showing where you can overtake at Road Atlanta. And that chicane is where? Now we are 7 seconds off Shelty. It is going to be a very tall order to catch that up, but we'll do our best there. We are in the 24s when we are in clean air in terms of fastest laps. Let's see what happens then. So going in towards turn 1, the driver up ahead, Famine GT Planet, just starts P13 Black, going for the move there. We're trying to go down the inside, outside, everywhere here, and we just settled down behind the driver up ahead as we continue on through. Now, I just want to clarify, that is not Famine from GT Planet. That is somebody mimicking Famine from GT Planet for unknown reasons. The GT Planet account is only GTP underscore and then the name, just to clarify that one as we go through the left-hander. And we get a good run on this McLaren 650S up ahead. So what we're going to do is head towards the inside then. This is also a good corner to overtake as we go into the inside, leaving plenty of space on the outside. They give it up. And I really should notice they gave it up because this is what happens next. They absolutely just force me off the circuit there. I've lost my words from it. Just absolutely brutally dirty driving. And they will be being reported for that one as well. Now, they did try and punt up ahead. You can see some smoke in the distance as well. They punted me. They tried to punt somebody else off. Yeah, as I say, they are going to get reported. And that's all I can say about it, really. I don't really want to emphasize on it too much. We'll have a look at it in the bloopers as well, just to prove it was a purposeful punt. I've not been near them the entire race. I don't even know who they are. It was only when I went on Discord afterwards, Max Powell mentioned that it's the fake Famine. And then I kind of realized they must have a bit of a reputation, let's put it that way. So we're going towards this right-hander, and this is a common thing in the Lamborghini. I clip the curb wrong, I try and catch it, I get it all wrong, and I go for a spin. So that's all on me, that one. I was a bit just like, a bit pointless of me racing at that point then, wasn't it, really? But even so, I continue on. I don't give up, and Andy's going to go around the outside here. So we've had 2 big crashes now. One was, of course, a punt. But we advance to lap number 11, where we're behind the Bilstein liveried car again. I hope they're paying me some money for this advertisement. Right, anyway, up towards here then, in towards the braking zone. I'm looking to kind of try and get the run on the exit. That's where I really want to gain an advantage. I do indeed then, over towards the right side of Andy Panda. And hopefully we've got this job done by the time we get towards this right-hander. And we do indeed. Oh, no, it's still close there. Good racing, actually, with Andy Panda there as we go into the second right-hander. And we continue on then in P8. So we've not completely lost in terms of this race. What we will do is advance a bit further on in the race then. So lap 13. Now the penultimate lap of the race. We continue on through turn 1. We're looking to try and catch up to the Dutch driver once again as we go into the braking zone. Now we've got a yellow flag here. No idea what's kicking off at the moment in time. That's what I was thinking. But there we go. We got a bit of karma as Famine is off. But it's not all what it seems. They had a 5-second penalty as well. So they have been moronic the entire time, and we can show a bit more of that in the bloopers. So just keep an eye out, because they have the fastest lap, which I questioned, and then I realised what was happening. Even so, we continue on towards the final lap. We do catch up to the Dutch driver here, who goes defensive, so we go towards the left-hand side. Go to the braking zone then. I kind of knew they were going to send it a little bit here, so I wanted to get on the inside. That was my goal all along. We managed to do that then. We get alongside here, so we've got a good bit of side-by-side action. As we go to the brake zone, I brake early, and then they just hit me again. And annoyingly, and this is what I really do hate, a penalty again. Now, that shouldn't be in Gran Turismo. They used to have a system where if you got hit and then you got a track limit penalty, they wouldn't apply the penalty. That system seems to have changed, and now you just get one, which is very frustrating. So pretty bad driving there by the Dutch driver for it to happen twice. You need a bit more awareness, in my opinion, as we head towards the line then. And that is the end of that race. Congrats to Chelsea there, winning the race. TCR winning every single race this week. Don't know if you noticed that. I've given this race a 6.5 out of 10. You can see all the detail of the scores down below, but there's no strategy. There really needs to be strategy in this one, and the start time's a bit weird, uphill. Some of them, anyway. So we head towards turn 1. This is how you do it in terms of a lap guide. You can see the brake balance down on the right-hand side. So the end of the barrier on the left-hand side, where it's orange, the perfect brake marker. You might want to try and brake a bit later, where the fence starts again on the left-hand side, but I use the orange painted barrier. Now, in the Lamborghini, you have to be very, very smooth with your braking inputs and turning inputs. So I brake in a straight line, and then release it, and then turn in the Lamborghini. Just keep that in mind, because it is a bit of a sketchy car. Now, on the right-hand side there, we've got that hook there. That is your lift-off marker. It's not your brake marker, lift-off, because you want to settle the car for the right-hander. So just lift off here. No need to be very aggressive on the throttle for this corner. And that's what I'm going to try and do right here. So let's see it happen. Lift off. And then what we're looking for here is any of these 3 brake markers. They're amazing. So I use the billboards on the left. You can use the white lines in the center or the orange painted barrier on the right. Any of those are your brake markers here. You want to brake in a straight line and you want to turn into it a little bit earlier than you expect in a Lamborghini. Try and carry 80 miles an hour through the corner and then instantly turn left as quick as you can. It really transfers the weight over the car and then you want to turn right. Be careful of the curb there. Now, I did that a little bit wrong, but even so, I managed to settle the car. And as we get towards where the curb goes straight, or alternatively, where the billboard is on the right side, that is your brake marker. Now, I recommend braking early in a Lamborghini. I said about turn 1, same thing here. Brake, let the car settle, then chuck it in, and the car should remain settled. And you can actually get a really good exit, and that's what I'm trying to do here. 85 miles an hour on the apex. We beat it out the corner, and we continue on. So that's 0.6. You should never get a 0.5 in sector 1 quite easy. I think even a 0.4 is probably possible. So as we go in towards the double right-hander, then on the right-hand side, we've got the grass going into tarmac. That is your brake marker for the first part of the double right-handed corner here at Road Atlanta. This is a case of dropping 2 gears, chucking it in, and the second you touch the curb, you put your foot to the floor, and I really use the camber of the corner. You can see the camber right there. So we touch the curb, we accelerate out of the corner, and as the curb opens up a little bit there, you can see it indents out. I really appreciate the person who did point this out quite a while ago now. I use this all the time. It's a really good marker. So that's my brake marker for this right-hander. You want to turn in early. You want to turn in early, get the car as straight as possible so you can just accelerate out the corner. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So I click the curb, off I go, and we now boot it towards the final corner. So we'll skip this bit, obviously, fast forward all the way down towards the chicane. And on the right-hand side, what we're looking for here is the 200 board or the billboard. Either of these are really good markers. Now, the 200 is a bit early in a Lamborghini in terms of time trial, but in the race, it's perfect. The billboard is where you really want to brake in the Lamborghini. That's really the last of the late breakers. It's where you want to be, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to drop to second gear here, and then you want to chuck it left. You need to stay on the curb here, over towards the right-hand side, lift off a little bit. There's a bit of a weird bump there, so you may suffer some understeer if you hit it the wrong way. Continue on out of the corner then, over towards the left, then back towards the right. We head towards the line, and that is a 0.3, I think, from memory. Definitely 23s in there, that is for sure. And that is how you do a lap at Road Atlanta. So what happened to Cosmo then? We saw them in Daily Race A. In towards the left we go. They didn't hit anybody. They just understeered into the barrier. Nearly ended in the pits, but not quite. So we jump on board Hodgson. We're coming up to the same corner. Guess what's going to happen? The same situation here. Hodgson just gets it wrong there. Turns in on a very tight line and unfortunately hits that same barrier. That is a lethal corner. One of the most lethal in Gran Turismo, I would say. So we head into this right-hander then. This is Daily Race B as they continue. Oh, the turbo spooled up. The wheels span and round they went. That was a common mistake there in a Toyota Supra. On board Team Lewis 44 then as we head towards turn 1, lap number 2. What actually happened here then? Onto the brakes we go. 2-3 wide. Everybody's absolutely everywhere there. The Audi saw that as well. That Audi, unbelievable driving from the Audi R8. Oh, P13 Black just lost the rear end there and took out Team Lewis. That was, of course, a mistake, but yeah, that Audi driver, really good awareness. Real big shout out to you. So this is when Max Power hit Hodgson, and look at this. Beautiful. I don't know how Hodgson threaded the needle there to avoid everybody, but really well played for doing that. Awesome sportsmanship, really was. So we jump to Daily Race C here now, and Hodgson there had to really slow up, and then it all just gets a bit awkward there. That's nothing major. That's everybody just absolutely everywhere. As we settle down 3 wide in towards his right, so there's a slight tap there. Again, nothing Hodgson could do there, nothing Max Power really could do in that situation, but Max Power brings it back on beautifully as we continue in towards the left. Now, what happened further back with the Audi TT? You may have seen that in the rear view in the race. So everybody's slowing up. The Audi TT being very cautious here as well as we continue through here. And a little bit of a bump draft there. So they're just looking to slow up here, which is expected. And they get, a big old tap from the rear then from Wes. And unfortunately, that Constantine's a bit more than continues on. They're trying to come back on the circuit. They can't turn the car. It's all just gone a bit awkward there. So Salah, really, I couldn't really do much more there, in my opinion. So this is the issue with the Dutch driver who just turns in as if I'm not there, and unfortunately I get a track limit penalty. Of course, it's just a bit of bad driving. It's not dirty driving, that, because they left me space on the exit of the next turn. In terms of dirty driving, here it is then. So here's this driver. So they're just going to full throttle into me there because they're a moron. That is what they are. So as I say, I will report that driving. And you can see here as well, they're going to turn into Mario Sonic. So they've clearly got something wrong with them in terms of they don't like people maybe featuring in my videos. And if you watch my video, you're a moron. So look at this. This is how they got the fastest lap. They just turbocharged straight over it all then. And nearly into max power. And they're going to continue on after that point. Again, because they're a moron. 3-second penalty, which is expected. That fast lap really doesn't count. And then what they're going to do here is try and take out max power. Again, I assume because, you know, they feature in the videos or whatever it may be. And they get a 5-second penalty or something like that. Anyway, Max Power manages to carry on. It's a fair play to Max Power. So they failed with that takeout. So unlucky, but I will be reporting it as I say. This is the final lap then with the Dutch driver again here. So as we go in towards this right-hander, they're just turning as if I'm not there again. And unfortunately, that's where I get the penalty. So it's just maybe need to improve in terms of spatial awareness from the Dutch driver. It was frustrating at the time, but it is what it is. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, do get a like and do subscribe to the channel. That is it for this week. Do check out the partners down below. Their links are in the description. And there's also a very interesting video about tire temps there that got released yesterday or on Sunday if you watch it a bit later. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.